Yeah, he sort of put school on hold in order to try and make Hearthstone work as a career. And when you're putting in that much work, even just outside one specific format, you sort of learn
that strategy. I can't beat that. And then you try that deck, and it's like an evolution of this discovery process where you just keep seeing more and more powerful stuff.
And then 10 days later, you're back at the deck you started with.
Secret Paladin.
But talking a little bit about the Giants deck, since it has stirred up quite a ruckus among the scene. Naga which, as we talked about earlier, got sort of changed to change the base
turn. So not the most powerful that it always is.
Yeah.
And it's scary to think that's actually kind of true. A lot of times this deck
runs 8 Giants, Sea Giants, Clockwork Giants, Mountain Giant, and Molten Giant. And now, one thing to note is also if Naga Which had stuck, you can also cheat out some other big minions that this deck runs because it has other ways to cheat out those big minions.
What other big minions does this deck run? Is that you put your opponent in awkward spots where they have to make tough decisions.
Yeah, I mean, more than half of this Warlock deck is 5 cost or above.
That's
16 cards at 5 cost or above. That includes a Naga Witch. So Naga Witch definitely is the...
Yeah, 6 cards that cost over 10 mana.
Yeah, 2 cards that cost 25 or more.
Whoa. Thanks, Blizzard.
You're welcome.
That's right. TJ works for Blizzard.
Disclaimer: I have no impact on.
No. TJ makes all of those decisions.
No.
You can tweet at TJ with any issue you have whatsoever. He'll get it taken care of right away. Fish is going to hang on to Possess Lackey here in the event that he sees Poison Seeds. He'll end up Lethal Blow here.
And if you draw Kun the Forgotten King, you also, because those spells cost are so cheap, you can fit in a Hero Power as well. So there's no taunt in the way. You can add additional 3 to whatever total that is. So
brother.
If he's forced to use Swipe, if there's not a taunt in the way, that damage all of a sudden becomes 16.
Forgotten King also just ends the game because of the Mana Restoration. He would actually unlock the Swipe as well. So it's just 9. It'd be 21 damage on
22.
22, yeah. Did you say that?
I did.
I swear you didn't say that.
I swear I'm not sure if I said it.
Someone tweeted us and let us know if TJ said that or not. We're going to be here all night.
I did. I'm giving myself the thumbs up. Good job, me.
I'm going to give you the thumbs sideways.
Frothing Berserker can be quite threatening. One interesting tech choice to note for the fishou is he's running a Kazan Mystic.
Is that how you say that?
Kizan.
I don't know why you just developed a southern accent all of a sudden, but...
I don't know how you say it.
I always just called it Keys and Mystic.
We'll go with that, sure. Say it how you want. I'll say it how I want.
I just learned the light does not discriminate as well. We'll be curious to see if he tries to go for a defensive play with Spreading Plague or just really wants to draw, but his instinct was to draw, and I like it.
Yeah, well, couldn't draw means lethal the following turn, and he realized that he's probably going to go wider on board, so it's going to be there.
Oh, now he could also alleviate the board pressure with the Wrath, and then can he just coin the Hero Power and set this up? No, not quite. He's still a little bit off.
Not quite. 13 damage, still max with just the...
Very confused and lost right now.
It won't kill the... Oh, yeah, it would kill the Frothing Berserker. The second Defile would, because you have to make a 3/3.
Can he play Clockwork and Taldaram and Defile?
He could.
He's figured something out, because he's defiling.
Oh, he does the first Defile first, pulls out a minion. It was still off. It was still off by some margin. The match 4 damage.
The thing to point out here is that you can sit down on that turn and figure out every single thing you could do, but how many times do you think the fishou has had a Frothing Berserker as a Warlock player with a Defile in his hand? The answer is this is probably the first time that that's ever happened to him, and so being able to figure all that out on the fly is, I just don't think he had the time to do it. I mean, he may have had lethal there. I can't say one way or the other. I don't think he did.
No, the maximum amount of damage he could have done was 30. He could have put his opponent to 3. Because he would have played the Prince and then done a second Defile with 4 minions on board, which would have been 4 additional damage.
Yeah, I think it's 30 damage.
Damage.
It's the technical term for it. Oh, we forgot about that interaction, too. Your Blood Reaver Gul'dan costs 5 mana, so sometimes you can get a 5/5 in. Just go ahead and play Blood Reaver Gul'dan. It's pretty cool. I left a Naga Witch on the board one time, and they just untapped and then played a cube and a Blood River Gul'dan, and I was like, I literally forgot about that. I'm dead.
He could armor up out of that total, but then any type of removal spell would lose him the game. So this is a much better way because you get the additional Spring Plate token and take more damage off the board.
I like this.
He does have to use the swipe, but still Kun is a ton of damage because you get to...
Mal'Ganis gives all the Voidwalkers +2/+2. He's not in the business of doing that right now because he's staring at a couple more Giants in hand and being able to just deliver lethal pressure that way.
He's looking at Defile math for the Clockwork Giant.
That as well.
I think he can get it. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4...
Cuts his Giant down to 1 health, but still deals 8.
Making sure that he doesn't have a 5, because if there was a 5, then his Giant would die, so I do believe this is lethal. Yeah, he's just making sure. 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks with the Giant, and that's 5. Giant lives at 1, and fishou wins game 1. Whereas fishou is going for more of a OTK style deck with additional card draw with the Cold Light Oracles, with Simulacrums to copy the Sorcerer's Apprentices, and like Molten Reflections, and then Archmage Insanitis.
Yeah, so the goal is to copy Sorcerer's Apprentice considered. Like you mentioned, with Molten Reflection and with Simulacrum, you have a lot of ways to copy stuff, and there's a ton of card draw in here. He's also
which makes the deck much less flexible, but it also opens up much more opportunity for him to run additional utility cards, and the utility cards that he runs is basically just card draw with,
the fishou. Whoa! Whoa! But as I mentioned, a more defensive package as well. Because he doesn't have burn spells to wipe out early minions, he's included Cone of Cold as well, just to freeze out board states and protect his life total as long as possible. And included with that is Arcane Artificer, a card that spawned a big spell style of mage deck and force an aggressive opponent to have to pay attention to that particular card on the following turn. And in this matchup, it can still be relevant too. Just chaining together a lot of spells with an Arcane Artificer. If you have the right situation, it's quite insane.
It's almost always good, yeah. And he's going to start gaining that armor right away, because eventually Scruffy is going to have to deal with that armor if he wants to kill him, because almost none of his damage comes from minions, unless amount of damage in Scruffy's decks, as opposed to the fishous, because of Archmage Insanitis.
Yeah. And so while he's pretty happy to use Blizzard to take care of this, the freeze effect actually set up those ice blocks. Ice block is another very important measure in this matchup, and you have to be prepared to pop multiple ice blocks in a row in these mirror matches. And the fishou just going to take time to play both secrets here.
Yeah.
I am quite curious to know if one particular secret would have maybe tested Scruffy to see if he would attack into it, maybe activate an ice barrier. Oftentimes when a secret is down,
it's actually the only important thing
in the world.
You almost cannot win the game unless Emperor Thorsten hits all of your important cards. Whereas Scruffy has a little bit of flexibility.
Just frost. It's a weird looking game. I love Freeze Mage for this reason.
Yeah, and he's never going to attack because he knows that he's not going to get enough minion damage.
Of Sorcerer's Apprentice with Simulacrum. So it is important that he gets those out of his hand at some point. I am curious, though, with the Arcane Artificers, if there is an alternate way to play this game. Can he ever play for a fatigue? No, he cannot. But, say he copies Arcane Artificers with Simulacrums and Molten Reflection.
I think he just draws too many cards. And there's also the fact that Scruffy has Forgotten Torch.
Yeah. So
Forgotten Torch adds another card to your deck, and the fishou is drawing. He has, like, 3
matchups of 30 cards versus 30 cards. Antique Healbot was included in the decks, and so it became paramount to be able to play for a fatigue strategy. Here, I believe there's very little chance of that happening because you just mentioned the card.
And out of the way, basically.
Yeah.
He's at 15. He's always going to be at 15.
Oh, boy.
Well, there's Archmage Insanitis, but he's still missing some key cards to make this work. You have to have Emperor Thorsten ticks on a mixture of Sorcerer's Apprentices and Archmage Insanitis.
Well, I look at those Arcane Artificer expenditures and wonder, could he have coupled them together in the same turn? Or would that leave him too vulnerable? Could he have maybe gotten more armor out of them instead? But now he's in trouble.
Yeah. So with the coin, Emperor Thorsten will allow him to get that OTK, but then he's got to worry about getting through ice blocks. And he will have additional Fireball in his hand, but unless he draws an extra spell to couple with that.
Oh, so smart from Scruffy here, too. Threatens lethal.
Yes.
Very, very brilliant play here.
and then go with the Emperor Thorstein next turn. He realized
he saw both blizzards, didn't he?
He did. I believe he did.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is really his only way to win because he knows that he's going to be dead in 3 turns.
So if a Doomsayer doesn't kill him all right away, so he's going to have to Primordial Glyph.
Flame Strike.
Flame Strike pickup. Wipes the apprentices.
And now the fishou literally has no win condition. And concedes the game. Scruffy ties it up.
That was, honestly, that was a brilliant play from the fishou in that
Through taunts with that 8 damage.
Sometimes it protect.
Sometimes he attack.
And most of
about that?
I don't know. That sounds inaccurate. The 1/1 being added to the deck side Naga Sea Witch. Instead, it's only 2 Mountain Giants.
Only 2.
Only 21 damage being presented on turn 4.
I mean, Scruffy is setting up a 2-turn OTK.
Every kill is a 1-turn kill if you really think about it.
But this is a 2-turn OTK.
Pretty much sets up deaths.
Yeah. So Barnes is the most powerful card in the deck, but all right, needs Ragnaros and needs it to hit a minion. Nope.
Not a bad one,
Not
though.
a bad
spike in power.
Void Lord is the on average higher value play, but Void Caller, if it were to be hit by the Obsidian statue, ends up being much better and hits him out.
I'm sorry, no, I was looking at the wrong list again. I was going to say something was missing was Lotheb, but he has Lotheb in there. Lotheb shuts off a boat? Did you say it could be a boat? Is there a boat card in Hearthstone?
No, I didn't say that.
Shadow as Josh.
Obsidian statue with the Resurrect.
Yeah, a lot of that's because he's not under the threat of an immediate lethal, so he's free to take that risk.
Yeah.
Naga Sea Witch being squelched, what looks like just by the board presence. You cannot just leave Yasharash alive in most situations.
Obsidian statue it is. So still stands.
And it's the guy who made that video.
Oh, gets the Void Caller kill from the Obsidian statue. Pulls out Void Lord.
Bam, 8 damage.
And
really put fishou to the test. And some of that was because of the early hero powers to heal up Scruffy.
He could get, okay, Obsidian statue, and this will likely be a Yashraj, which will pull another Obsidian statue.
Oh my. And
what a huge swing.
And the leader is in the middle. Shadow Word Pain.
Shadow Word Horror. And push a
casual
bunch
18
of
damage.
Now he's in Ragnaros range forever until he heals.
Forever, ever?
Forever until he heals.
So, the opposite of forever. Not forever. Well, I guess the opposite of forever is never.
Yeah, but he taps out, realizes no way back in this one. fishou goes up.
And it's a sea giant. Oh, gosh, we're smart.
Because he's from the sea.
Wow, not going to play the Ice Barrier first to guarantee that. Just going to force the draws with Cold Light Oracle. There's another giant. This burn here for Scruffy, I would say, is quite irrelevant since he did find another giant to play with Naga Sea Witch. And here we go.
Going to be
slim, is that good?
Slim slamming down on the busy board.
I wonder.
All right, going to play around Frost Nova Doomsayer.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Blow, because he's going to add the Lotheb plus a giant next turn. And the Sea Giant, so immediately going in. And I think it's exactly what he's doing. Not only does he get the Frost Nova Doomsayer benefit of playing around that, but he also gets the benefit of maybe
Sea Giant as well. So that is 34 damage
It's
on the
infinite
board?
damage.
It's between 0 and 34. And so this will be an Ice Block pop next turn.
The fishou has literally no way to stop that from happening this turn. Pop the Ice Block at 1 and do it as well.
He can pop the Ice Block at 1 and kill the Doomsayer because these 2 1/1s are on board. But 3 is a big difference from 1. Sometimes. Against Warlock, it really doesn't matter.
No, it definitely matters.
Anything that deals
Possess Lackey, the Kobold Librarian, a Void Lord leaving behind, you know, 2 Void Lord. Can that be impacted by the Arcane Artificers later down the road, though, that extra 2 life?
Arcane Artificers would make things interesting.
Oh,
but Hellfire
my.
drawn, and Scruffy ties it up at 2 apiece.
I'm sorry that I'm so excited about that, but that is just very...
Advantage of having 2 extra turns in order to do so because of Ice Block.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty tough.
They both have reasonably equal...
Now I'm having that reaction because I realize how similar it is. I think you're the same people.
You may not have known that. But that was a fact.
Wise of Scruffy to not kill these mad scientists. The more cards the fishou has in his deck, the less likely he is to draw the important ones. And this is a sign that you are doing it right. When the fishou just blizzards an empty board.
Like I said, both players are trying to combo. So the fishou needs, I believe it's 5 Emperor Thorson reductions on his combo pieces.
Yeah.
He needs a mixture of 4 of Reflections or 3 Sorcerer's Apprentice, 1 Molten Reflection, or 4 Sorcerer's Apprentice combined with Archmage Antinitis. So 5 of those combo pieces need to be reduced, and it's an OTK.
It sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is.
Yeah.
Basically draw a lot of cards, play Emperor Thors, but you get a big reduction on Emperor Thorson, but you have coin in your hand, as the fishou does. Sometimes 2 fireballs can be enough in that situation to kill your opponent.
That's a lot of chip damage in a deck that runs almost no minions.
I don't disagree with that.
Your mad scientist would have to get in for 18.
Well, I mean, you live a pretty charmed life.
A semi-charmed kind of life.
You told me you were going to eat nothing but poutine next week. You know how jealous that I am?
You may not have known it, but that's just a fact. So Scruffy is quite close himself, but again, it's about the turns. Once the fishou draws his combo, Scruffy has absolutely no way to defend against it because it's infinite damage. Doesn't matter his armor total, unless he gains enough armor to where the fishou mathematically does not have enough time to throw that many fireballs at his face.
Which is approximately 288 armor, showing how much armor you needed. And it was like 300 armor. But at 300 armor, you couldn't quite have enough time to kill them. Now, I'm curious if that changes if you can double up on the fireballs.
We got to keep track of the overdraw going into his next turn.
Oh, if that's just like Forgotten King or something important.
Oh, Simulacrum drawn, but needs to dump this Novice Engineer in order to make it happen.
That is the one tricky thing I think about fishou's deck build right now is that a lot of his smaller utility minions get in the way of using Simulacrum. Interesting little twist there. So coin going to be expended.
All right,
get that Sorcerer's Apprentice, and we are getting very close to the fishou having
1 piece away.
And if you're Scruffy here, you're getting nervous.
Real nervous. Oh, this is going to be an overdraw.
That's a genius play. I did not even see that. Mulch. I was curious actually about Mulch over the Naturalize. Why was he running it? And I think this is part of that answer, is being able to burn key cards from other combo
Naturalize
players.
does the same thing.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, why is he running Mulch over? Disappointing here. You are very far behind, and you are hoping it turns out to be an important card. And that is really a bad sign if you're in Scruffy's seat.
Yeah.
You feel extremely nervous when you see this. So second Molten Reflection or Sorcerer's Apprentice, I believe.
It's 5 plus 6.
No, he can't. He needs a lot.
He does have a lot.
Oh, he's going to hope that the fishou is on a draw.
Oh, this does pop.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's going to hope the fishou's on a draw for the right card and just can't produce it. Oh, this is quite smart from Scruffy, actually, given that his only out to actually win this game is this pure desperation mode where the fishou's just missing one of his key cards.
That is a block pop, yeah. Exact block pop. At 2. So a nice spot by Scruffy. And the fishou still needs... That's enough.
Yeah, because the Molten costs 3 right now. So now it's going to cost 2 mana. And then it's going to cost 1 mana, which will make the 4-cost Molten Reflection cost 1 mana.
You are absolutely correct. And the fishou, unless he misclicks here, and fireballs his own face. He's got the damage. And Scruffy looking a little bit disappointed, but this is what the deck is designed to do. It's designed to prey on these control decks that need time to ramp up, these combo decks that need time to ramp up. And despite losing a few matches,
you know,
though TK Mage is going to get it done in the end.
They say that nuclear or thorium power is the future of energy.
Did he get it?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's Archmage Antonitis is the future of power.
Yeah.
Let's just fuel cities with that bad boy.
Yeah.
4 Sorcerer's Apprentice Archmage, that's infinite energy.
That's right. It's a perpetual motion device.